Learning a new languages could be a wonderful and a difficult experience at the same time, but the results are the best gift you can receive. I am a Spanish native speaker because I am from Colombia, but since I was a teenager, I enjoy the English language. My first contact with the language was at the school, and fortunately, I was one of the best students in that subject. It was irresistible for me listen to music in English, see movies in English, and also repeat what the actors were saying. And when I finished my high school, I was thinking about why I'm going to study at the university. And I said, well, if I am good at languages, I'm going to study English. That's why I'm a teacher of English, right? At the beginning was easy, but when we are in the last semester and we are starting learning more grammar and more pronunciation, it could be also a little difficult because you have to know more because you are going to teach the language. And nowadays I can communicate in a second languages, which is English, of course, and I need to learn more because it's a new languages and there are a lot of vocabulary you didn't know, right? But I think when you are interacting with a native speaker is the best way that you can improve that languages. Talking about similarities, we can say both are grammar structure to build a sentences. The punctuation and the capitalization are similarly. On the contrary, there are some differences that I can say. Pronunciation, for example. English have a hard pronunciation. The Americans skip some letters at the end of the word and they use their tongue a lot. Apart from that, Spanish is a straightforward language when it comes to the pronunciation. Each letter have a corresponding sound and it will almost sound the same. For example, the letter E in Spanish, you always say E, while in English the same letter can be pronounced like E, Well, in addition, talking about the position of the languages. In English, languages is different than in Spanish. And we as a learner can make some mistakes. For example, in Spanish you say, yo tengo un carro costoso. But in English you can say, I have a car expensive, because the adjective is always before the noun. So you have to say, I have an expensive car. In some cases, the learner can make some mistakes, right? Because when we are learning in another languages, you also translate what you are going to say. And that is the bad way, right? If you are thinking in the languages that you are learning, it's better, right? Then, on the other hand, Spanish has an easier way to say the negative form of the sentences. You only add the word no. Yo no quiero, ella no está. That's very easy. But in English, you have to add some auxiliary words for each tense that you are talking about. Therefore, sometimes I understood that we have to have some tips, right, to learn a new languages, but you have to do your best. And finally, I can say that when we are speaking English or Spanish, people can open their minds, the culture, and also can have some experience with the society. Both are international languages. Both can open our minds and the way to see the world, right? I don't know which one is better, but I know if you learn a second language, you become an integral person. Both are a good way to meet people, and new languages can transform our personality and our world.